Hello and welcome to EBA Tonight. It's your boy Ice the Man here as always with my co-host Texas James Smith.
Yes, sir. Always here, man. Week in, week out. Putting in the time.
Also have a special guest with me tonight, with us tonight I should say, Crow from the Golden State Warriors, owner, champions. Crow, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. Got that first ring.
That first ring, which we'll talk about a little bit here. Speaking of which, it must feel wonderful. I'm going to jump right into the playoffs and start talking about it. As you can tell, I want to apologize to everybody listening. I am definitely under the weather and not feeling well. So you can definitely tell that in my voice. I apologize, and I will make it a quick show so you don't have to listen to my scratchy throat all night. So let's jump right into the playoffs. So, talking about the playoffs. Nice. Yeah, I'm here. Talking about the playoffs. I was trying to set up the graphic. I couldn't move quick enough. I told you I'm sick. I'm slow.
Thought your mic died on us, man.
I'm
thought
slow.
Your mic died on us. I was like, oh.
I'm moving slow tonight. I swear I'm limping through this. So, we're talking a little bit about the breakdown of how everything turned out and how that came about. The champions, as you know, if you haven't heard or haven't been on the site, are the Golden State Warriors from the West. Out of the 8, 9, 12, 13 games they played, they won 12 out of the 13, which is amazing. So they went 12-1 in the playoffs, sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0. Texas, you called it. I mean, this expectation was there for you. I mean, what do you have to say? Haha, I called it, or how do you feel about that?
No. I don't think anything needs to be said about this, man. I think with Golden State going into that, Crow, thanks for being on the show, by the way, was the owner. He, I think it was pretty easy call. I mean, it's not a ha in your face. It was just like why didn't anybody else see this? Because it should have been expected. I mean, obviously the Cavs thought they were going to have an opportunity, and rightly so. But after playing those guys and seeing what they were doing in the playoffs firsthand, I was on the receiving end of one of those ass whoopings they be handing out. It was a no-brainer for me to make that call.
It was pretty surprising for me. Like I said, I had Golden State 4-2. I still had Golden State winning, but I had Cleveland maybe pulling down too because that Cleveland team is tough. I mean, your plans going into that game, Crow, since I have you right here, 4-0, of course you knew you were going to sweep them. You called it, I think, before the game. Prepare for the sweep as well. I think I seen a post or a chat pop up, or someone told me prepare for the sweep of the Cavaliers. But going into that game, did you have a different game plan than you had for the beginning, or was that just the same game plan, dominate, destroy?
Same game plan, man. I was just, our defense had won us every game in the playoffs, damn near, to be perfectly honest. I mean, what surprised me, I expected us to win in 5. I thought Realist and Uncle Drew were going to show up at least one game, and they decided not to show up at all, scoring 14 a game with Kyrie and LeBron. I mean, that's just not going to win you a game, no matter what team we are. They'd like to say it's because we're the Warriors, but, I mean, if you're scoring 14 with Kyrie and LeBron, I don't think you're beating any team. But yeah, our second line surprised us, like, dramatically. I mean, Unibrow went off, scored 40 on Realist. That got them the first W, and then they just carried the momentum into the second game. I was worried the first game because Bud lagged out, and they won that game 4v5 by over 20 points. So after they won that game, I knew it was over with. I knew it was going to be a sweep.
So going into that game, like you said, your defense is what you really focused on. Going in, there were some matchups that probably you weren't. I know there's a line 1 and line 2. You consider your line 1. It's with you, and I believe you have Bebe on that line. You also have Budweiser, I believe, on your line as well. Who else is on your line? Make some...
Boss, who
okay.
is our center, who played phenomenal defense in the playoffs, and I mean phenomenal defense. If you were to look at his stats, if they kept stats in the playoffs, I mean, the dude probably averaged 5 or 6 blocks a game.
Yeah.
And multiple steals, and it's not easy playing center defense the way we play defense. He gets a lot of pressure put on him. He's got to guard multiple people, got to guard multiple cuts on his own a lot of the time, and he did a great job, and he was the anchor to our defense through the whole playoffs. And then Bama, who's our shooting guard, also played great defense. He had his best games of the season in the playoffs, which is all I could ask. Like, he played better in the playoffs than he did all the regular season. So
Yeah, man. When we played you guys, we talked about a little bit pre-show. That first game we played, even though we didn't have a Lillard, uh, you guys did not play that well on the offensive side of the ball, and I mean, you're missing shots, and it was a close game. I mean, like I said, we didn't have a Lillard, and it was still close.
Yeah.
And when y'all played off, and y'all still won. I mean, y'all played really off. I mean, because we came back in that second game, and y'all putting hurting on us straight up. I mean, there's no denying it, no hiding it. Y'all smacked the shit out of us in that second game. So when y'all played that much off in that first game, offensively, and still pulled it off, that's when I knew, man. I was like, y'all are gonna be a problem. 4-0 championship, right? I mean, right then, instantly, you knew. So
Yeah, I mean, you
it was
guys could have
definitely that
pulled that
defense
first game
was
off. I
nice.
mean, we played off, but you guys played off too. Like you said, I mean, you had no Lillard. So, and I mean,
Right.
that hurts. That hurts
It
badly. I think he
does.
went
It does.
like what, 1 for 10 or something? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
if your Lillard's
Yeah.
going like 1 for 10, that gives us some leeway to play bad.
Yeah.
And
You could
that's why
say
we're
that.
still able
You
to
could say
win.
leadway.
Yeah, and the second game we just played good, and I mean, we just ran away with it. So
Going up against the Cavs, I mean, they have LeBron, and it was the number one pick versus the number two pick. I know you were gifted this team, and I say gifted. I've said it many times on the show. It was Christmas in the Crow House, but you're kind of. I know that you stepped up and said, "I want it." I wanted the next team, and at that time, you thought you were going to be owner in Toronto. And I don't for say too much your fault for winning the championship, and I don't put too much pressure. I mean, it is Golden State, but not all the pressure on Golden State. It was a team that you built there that helped that happen. With the owners allowing you to do that, do you feel that without the team that you have, you still could have won with some key people in place? I mean, because I know that you put your guys together, and I'm using air quotes. Of course, you can't see, but your guys on that team. Do you feel you still would have won even without some of your key
one.
point guys?
So you're saying if I had close to this same roster with another team in the West, that I would, do I believe I would have won
Well,
still?
no, I'm not really talking about the Golden State Warriors herself. I'm talking more about the players that you had on your teams. I know you did a big post to shout out and hollered out all of your teams and that way they stepped up in the playoffs. And a lot of those guys are your guys. There's a couple guys on that roster
Yeah.
that you've played with for as long as I can remember, even back in the old VBA days that you played with. So, guys like we joke and laugh, say your son Irving or Bebe. Budweiser, I know, has played with you a few times. He's a guy that hangs out a lot with you. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of chemistry there. Without that chemistry, do you still feel, even with the Golden State, do you still feel you would be in the same spot you are now, hoisting the championship?
No, honestly, I feel I needed all my guys, man. I mean, I love my guys. I mean, they do exactly what they're supposed to do, and we literally all have the same mindset, man. All we care about is winning. We have no egos on our team. Like, you will never, I mean, you never hear like Bama or Bud or Boss or any of these guys talk about how good they are, even if they play great or anything. I mean, the only one that runs his mouth is Bebe, but he's a troll. Like he does what I used to do essentially. But I mean, when we're in games, no one has an ego, man. We play defense, we win or lose as a team, and that's all we care about. So yeah, I needed these guys, and I need them every season. I really do. And I don't know, we just mesh well together because people say if they're not on my team, they struggle, and I mean, and I guess that's why I'm able to get them every season.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you made some works and moves, and like I said, I blame the owners more around you to put you in the position to win, or I guess help you. I don't want to say blame you, but blame them because they were able to make those trades happen for you. And you were able to make those trades happen and make moves with a broken team. I mean, you didn't take over an all-star team there right away. You definitely had to move things around and push guys through. I mean, would you say this is probably one of your best seasons, period, only because you started out with Cleveland, which is the number 2 team. You went to, as a player, you went to Los Angeles, which was a top team in my eyes as well. I would say top 4, top 5 team. And then you landed on Golden State. I mean, I remember back, I think it's EBA season 1, I was on your training camp. We had the Kings. We were just laughing and joking before the show about, we still were competitive with the Kings, I remember. Even though I only played, I think, maybe 6 games all season, 7 games all
We
season.
made it to the finals.
But, I mean, you were still really competitive with a lot of your guys that you have now on that team, on this team. I mean, do you think it was a gifted season? Like, you got the best luck you've ever had in this season?
Kind of. I mean, getting the Warriors was great, like you said. I mean, I just wanted to be an owner at the time. I had no idea that Cleveland was going to step down. So I mean, yeah, it was a gift. I feel I finally deserved having the best team in the game for a season, and my guys were able to play with the best team, and we were able to do what we always wanted to do because of it. So yeah, it was a gift.
And
I
going,
mean,
But at the same time, it was tough because I took the team over and there was a lot of issues going on with the team. I mean, I traded the entire roster from when I took over. There's not one player that was there that's still here. I rebuilt the entire roster in like a week, and it turned into a championship team.
and I want to say, like, like I said, I said a little bit before the show that I respect the grind, I respect the hustle. You paid your dues, and no matter what anybody says, I feel like you deserve your championship. You put the time in, and honestly, the fact that you haven't gotten a championship before this point, is kind of remarkable. And I think it really shows the talent of what this league has, and what we've had in the past. But so for you to get the Warriors here nor there, whatever. I mean, the championship was definitely deserved, and the grind is real. And I mean, everybody on that team, and I know they've been with you for a long time, deserve a championship too, regardless of what anybody says. That's definitely something that needs to be thought about when people go to start talking, Golden State or whatever. That you definitely paid your dues, and the championship is rightly deserved here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We've had to overcome a lot of shit, man. We've always been competitive, but something always ends up coming up in the end. This season it didn't happen, and we were able to finish it off.
now there's going to be haters out there. In fact, we were called haters last week for saying, "Hey, it's the team, it's the team." I mean, you have to sit here and admit having it helps. You can make a lot more mistakes with Golden State than you could with pretty much any other team out there, especially than you could with the Kings or any team that you've ever played on. You can make a lot more mistakes with Golden State and still come back and win the game. Or like you said, down a man and still up 20 points. I'm not taking anything away from you or your guys, and I don't want it to come off that way. For some reason, it came off that way last week, and I can understand why after re-listening to the show. But your guys deserve respect. But would you agree at least saying that the team it helped you a lot into going, I think, like I said, out of 13 games, you went 12-1 for the whole playoffs, which is unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, of course the team helped, but I mean, you could say that about any season. Like I said, all the seasons that I lost in the finals, we always lose to a better 2K team. But of course the team helps. Like I said, I feel like there's quite a few teams we could have been this season in the Western Conference against the Cavs, and we still would have won. But yeah, of course having the Warriors helped. I mean, they are the best team in the game, so of course having them helped, and they fit our play style perfectly, so that also helps.
You have anything you want to add there, Texas, before we move on to the next step?
No.
Okay, well, congratulations to the Golden State Warriors and everybody on the Golden State Warriors, no matter how much they hate on you, no matter how much they want to put an asterisk by your name. Bottom line, you are Season 5 champions. We want to go in a little bit, since we
100%.
have Crow here, we want to go in a little bit about you yourself, the struggles you face this season, the future of you. I've got a nice little graphic here, Golden State Championship rings, because that's really what we're focused on here. You finally accomplished what you were accomplishing. I want to go back a couple seasons. You took season 4 off, and rumor says you needed a break. You were just tired of playing 2K. There's other rumors out there. I have you right here, right now. What's the story behind the season? Was it just a devastating season 3 and you just needed a season off, or was it just? You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty devastating. I felt like everything was in place for us to win it all, man. I said, like, if I don't win this season, like, I'm done. Like, I'm taking a break, because we got it, the team we wanted. We got the Cavs. I wanted the Cavs. I was extremely happy. Then we got every single player we wanted in the bidding. I mean, everything. Everything went perfectly. And some bullshit happened in the finals, and then, I let someone on my team decide who the game 7 lineup was. They came up short, and just that whole season, man, that shit took a lot out of me. And coming up short in a game 7 of the finals, I needed a break after that. I really did. That was rough.
I mean, coming back and
Yeah.
getting you down I think you're up 3-1 or something, and then they come back and
Yes.
got you. It was that would have been extremely frustrating. You won more game and then you lose 3 straight. I actually had you guys winning that season too. I was like, you guys can't be beat. And then they come back and beat you, which was really surprising. And Realist won't let me live that down. How I went against him, even though I went against him this season as well. But you yourself as an owner, you come back. I always said you can't just show up and play. You have to be in somewhat control. You've been around the block long enough and inside these leagues long enough. You have to kind of do things your way or you're not 100% happy. So I knew when you started and signed up for the season, it wouldn't be long before you were begging to take over a team. I mean, did you feel the same way going into the season that somebody's going to slip up, you're going to have your opportunity to take over?
Yeah, I mean, at first I didn't really want to be owner. I just kind of wanted to play, and then just playing 2K again, getting back into it, playing with my friends. I was like, man, this is so much fun, man. I want to be an owner. I want to own a team. Like I love it. Like it just got me hooked again. Originally I didn't think I would, but after I got the game about playing a week, I just knew I want to be an owner again. It just hit me, and then I hit up James, and then Cleveland ended up quitting, so it was perfect.
Do you think the story would have definitely been different if you would have taken over Toronto? Let's say that Farah, respect in the beginning. Of course, he lost respect at the end, but he still stuck it out with the rough team starting out with guys quitting on him. And the rumor was you were taking over Toronto, and then Toronto decided they wanted to Farah stay into it. And you absolutely thought, from my understandings, that would be the team that you were going to take over because that was the one struggling at the time. Do you feel that things would have, do you feel you could have competed in the East or even made it as far even with Toronto?
Yeah, I think we would have competed. I think we would have played the Cavs in the conference finals. I don't think we would have swept them like we did with the Warriors, but I think we could have came out on top. I'm not sure who we would have faced in the West, but I definitely think we would have made playoffs, and we would have competed with the Raptors, of course.
Saying this here, Golden State Warriors roster is at 4.5 million is what it's sitting at right now. That has to be the lowest championship roster in the history of any team-up league I've ever been a part of. That's nuts because you got all your guys that are 500K guys that went to, I'm assuming some went to other teams. Some followed you around as you were bouncing teams. I know you got Irving off of Mizark in Minnesota, and there's a couple of guys that you had to kind of reach out and grab. But you built this team, you put this team together. These are the guys you wanted to win with. How satisfying, I guess, is it at this point to look back and go, okay, after year of failure coming up short, I now get to say, hey, I'm an EBA champion. I can now, it's almost like the King James story. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always there, always fall short, always there, always fall short. Finally, he's like, I'm a champion. Damn it, leave me alone. When he won one in Miami. So I mean, even though it's a game and it's fun and it's something we do on the side, is it kind of satisfying to say, okay, I've accomplished something in the site, even if it's like I said, a fake trophy? It still feels like you accomplished something.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's the thing I've been playing for all this time, man. I mean, we're talking years. I've tried and came up short quite a few times. And it just made it even better, the fact that I got to win it with my boys, man. I mean, these guys have played with me for years, literally years. People like Bud and Boss and stuff like Boss I knew, all the way back in the VFL days. And just winning a championship with my guys and doing it the way we did was just amazing, man. I couldn't ask for anything more. It was totally worth it. It was amazing.
So of course the season went out exactly how you planned. Was there anybody else that you had expected? I mean, did you know Cleveland was going to beat Mizark's team going through? That was kind of a pretty big upset, I think. I mean, did the season play out as you expected with other teams that you were considering or you were seeing, I guess, playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought the Cavs would beat them. I talked with Abyss and I told him, I was like, just double team Cat. Zach LaVine is broken. He can't shoot now. And if they did that, and they did, and I figured the Cavs would win because the Timberwolves just can't score. So I figured we'd see the Cavs, to be honest. And I wasn't worried about playing them. So it played out pretty much exactly how I thought it would.
So at 4.5, like I said, the best ever. Moving forward, looking out, season's over, season's done. You can celebrate here for the next few weeks as we prepare the future. Are you continuing going to be owner moving into next season?
Oh yeah, of course. Probably for the rest of this 2K, unless something drastic happens. But yeah, probably for the rest of this 2K. That's what I told James when I told him I wanted to be an owner.
Well, now I mean you almost have to come back and win with a different team just to prove it wasn't Golden State. I mean, do you feel that way?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I want to show people, again, I mean, I don't know if people just have memory loss or what, but like I said, I mean, we competed with the Kings. We made it to the finals with the last pick in the draft. The T-Wolves couldn't even do that. This roster was so good, they couldn't even make the finals. We made it to the finals with the Kings without a Willie Cauley-Stein, and that's their best player. And then we lost to the Hop Step that was eventually banned. But people like to forget stuff like that. Yeah, I want to come back at it, but I also want you guys not to ban the Warriors, man. To almost prove a point with that whoever gets them, it's not an auto win, man. I really want the Warriors to not be banned so someone could get them and shit their pants. Like I really want to see it, so I hope they don't get banned.
Well, I mean, it almost happened this
if you
season.
do the cap thing, that's cool.
I mean, it almost happened this season with that, and we'll talk a little bit about some Commissioner Corner. Maybe he can give us some insight on what he's pushing for or what they're planning on doing there. Moving to, are you going after the same group of guys next season? I mean, you can't really. I wouldn't say, of course, because you're going to get these guys bidded up. But, are you going to struggle to? Are you going to struggle to make sure these same group of guys are on your team next year?
I don't think so. And I mean, I don't think I really need to say whether or not I'm going to get my guys. I mean, my track record speaks for itself. I mean, I've played, with the same guys for a while now. And a lot of people talk bad about my guys. Like their general consensus is they're not very good. So, I mean, we won a championship. I think we were the first team in EBA or VBA history to win the finals in a sweep. So we'll see what people do. But I believe I'll be able to get my guys again. Yeah.
Well, I think Texas and I have had the same conversations many times over. This is a team play game. It's team play. So if you can get a team that can play together, they will be a more talented one or two guys anytime, because you're playing as a team. And I've always said that from the beginning. If you just play your role, show up, you don't have attitudes in the locker room, you just show up to win and you play your role, I think you could be very successful with any team if everybody agrees is on the same mentality. So it's nice to have guys around you that have that mentality of show up, play my role. And a lot of people, and I think it's even been said here a few times from James, but giving Irvin his due now, but he, he's sucking on the teeth of Crow or whatever.
My stance does not change.
He's playing his role.
He's
doing his job. He's playing his role. He's got a Curry this year, which he should be putting up points, which he is. I mean, he should be, though. That's expected of him. That's his role now. So a lot of guys will say, well, that guy sucked the first 2 seasons in the league or whatever. For instance, and I'm just kind of tooting my own horn here. I play my role. I don't try to go above and beyond. I don't try to dribble in the paint when I don't need to. I do what I'm told. If I go to the corner and that's my job as a spot-up shooter, is cross corners and shoot, that's what I do. And I might only put up 10 points a game, but that 10 points helps my team get in a better position to free up somebody else where, Fab or somebody else can score the points they need to. And that's just the role that I'm played. And it's rare that you're going to see one of these guys, and even given somebody going back to like Cuban, it's rare that you're going to see some of those guys choke on some of these better guys, because we're all solid 2K players. Not great, but we're all solid 2K players. And looking at the roster, I would give Cleveland Cavaliers rosters over your roster any day. However, you've proven it doesn't matter. You 4-0'd them. So, I mean, shout out to you and your guys. And you had 10 guys, and that was it. I mean, going in, if one person called in sick, you were done.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, looking at the roster, their roster looks like they have more user talent. But, I think we're holding a little too much what happened in prior 2Ks to that. I mean, Uncle Drew is playing with top 3-point guard in the game, dude, scoring 14 points a game in the finals. When everything matters, his team's down 2-0, scores 14 points a game with Kyrie Irving, one of the best point guards in the game. I mean, I don't know. I think what people have done in past 2Ks is being held too high. And my players, some of them aren't the best offensive players. People know that. That's okay. But like I said, our defense was amazing. They play amazing defense. We work as a team and we play amazing defense. So some people see as their talent, their roster was more talented. I don't think so. I think we got to prove that.
Well, and like I said, next season you're coming back, so hopefully you won't get first pick. Go ahead if you want to say something. James, say something. Jump in. I've been rattling off.
I don't think. Now, I don't want to take away your championship, man. And I made that clear earlier in the show and pre-show that your championship is rightly due. But I don't think that you can say their roster wasn't better, or that it was, on the fact that you were the Golden State Warriors. Now, I hate to be the guy to say that, but I mean it needs to be said. We're on the show to make sure all things are brought to light here. So let's bring it to light because I mean having Golden State, having Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond, Clay, JaVale, that lineup is insane and to try to say that um I don't think their roster is better because I beat them with Golden State. I mean, that has to be brought to light, right?
I mean,
am I the only one
the
thinking
big
that?
thing is here is the Golden State Warriors do not play defense for you. So if their users
Man,
are so
but you
good, why are
can't.
they scoring 14 points a game with two of the best players on 2K? The Warriors don't play defense for you. If anything, their
Bro, you
defense,
got
like paint-wise, isn't that good. JaVale has no shot contest. The only time JaVale's stopping somebody is if he blocks, and that takes timing. And Boss did that great. Like I said, he averaged about 5 or 6 blocks, and no one talks about Boss, and that's a disgrace. The dude always had to go for blocks, which puts them at a disadvantage because if he goes for a block and doesn't get it, they're getting the rebound. He played phenomenal defense. And then KD has no defensive badges, and we play the 1-3-1, and I was the roamer, and so was Unibrow on the other line. Like,
it just it can't be said, man. I mean, yeah, y'all won, you did win, but to say that you think your users were better than their users because you win with Golden State,
my
that
bad,
just
my controller disconnected. It's just like they're
that
Kyrie and
just seems a
LeBron,
little
and they
off to me.
can't score, man. Like, what do the Warriors
And
do
I feel it.
defensive-wise that
I mean,
you
I
can't
feel
do
it.
with
I
these
don't-
other teams?
I think
right?
if it went to Game 7, I would definitely be leaning. Even Game 6, I'd probably be leaning more of okay. That Golden State really helped you out, but it was a sweep. Not only with Cleveland,
Yeah,
it was
and
a
it
sweep
wasn't
with
just a
Portland.
sweep; it was blowouts. It was blowouts. We're talking 20-point
This
wins
is-
across the board, and like I said, so say it was switched, right? They had Golden State, we had the Cavs. Are you telling me our Kyrie's score 14 points a game? Our LeBron score 14
I'm
points a
telling
game?
you that it would have been a hell of a lot closer series, and y'all would not have swept if y'all would have had Cleveland.
Well, probably,
And they
yeah.
would've got
I
Golden
So
agree
you're
with that.
saying we would have
And-
competed,
and-
we would have competed, and we wouldn't have swept them. So what you're saying is the Warriors are beatable.
I'm not gonna say no, 100%, dude. Like if you'd have put the Spurs on Golden State this year, come on. I mean, come on, man. If
They
you'd have- if
would
you'd
have
put
did
that
about
team-
exactly what they did.
they would have definitely done better. You can't sit there and say they'd have done the
They
same.
would have done better, but they wouldn't have made playoffs.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't
I
think
don't
they
know,
would have
man.
either.
Like,
When
I
you
don't-
put when you put a different
people
team
are
on the
forgetting,
Spurs,
like,
they're gonna
because you're
yeah.
Golden State, you could take like hella contested F shots and make them. Like, I'm so confused as to what people are saying. We had Clay
saying
be a
because
spot
you're
up
Golden
shooter
State,
and
you
Draymond
can do
be
a
a spot
lot
up
more
shooter.
and make a lot
And-
more mistakes, pull stupid shots, and make buckets when you don't deserve to make that bucket.
So you're saying we're
That's what I'm
making
saying.
bad shots. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying there have been shit shots, and I've been in some of those games where, like that one game where y'all played horrible, y'all were chunking up some stupid ass shit, and it was going in. Like
I don't know, dude. You are not making like
telling
D grade shots, F shots with nobody in the game. That's just how this
Man,
game is.
That's the problem is that you don't get those shots with them. You could take a stupid shot, it won't be that bad.
It
Like,
will.
I'm not
like
saying-
if someone's in
I'm
your
not
face,
saying
you're
triple
getting a bad
covered.
grade.
No, yeah,
Like,
but Steph
I'm
is gonna
so
hit it
confused.
with his fucking dead eye and all that bullshit that he has, and same with KD and all these other guys, man. And to sit here and say that Golden State that your roster was better than theirs, it's out there for me, man. And I'm not saying you don't deserve your championship because, like I said, I wanted to make that very clear before I even started talking about this, because you do and you paid your dues. But I'm saying that you can't say your user roster was better than theirs because you are Golden State, and that has to be factored in. It has to be seen. You can't overlook that.
Like I said, if they were Golden State and we were the Cavs, our LeBrons and Kyries would have played, and our Kevin Loves would have played much better than theirs did. I don't think there's debate there.
Well,
you know,
and like
we
I said,
would have swept them.
he definitely
I don't
has
know,
some drive to
but-
come back next season, put together a similar roster if possible, and compete and say, look, my guys are definitely, if he could take a different team to the show, he doesn't get gifted the Golden State, and that kind of puts us right into the next thing with the commissioner's corner.
If Golden State's here,
that's the big question on everybody's mind now that Crow won. I mean, let's be honest, if he lost, it probably wouldn't even have been a question. But now that Crow's won, he's 4-0. He swept them, went 12 for 13 in the playoffs, only lost one game all of playoffs against solid playoff teams. I mean, these weren't shit teams he played against. Going right into the commissioner's corner, it's kind of flat, Mike, and you're. What are some ideas about next season? Are we going to ban Warriors? How's that looking out?
It's not going to be we are going to ban, we're not going to ban. We're going to put a vote out for all communities, so everybody's listening. Your voices will be heard. We're going to have a vote through the off season. Here probably coming up pretty soon. We're going to put a vote out there, and we're going to see what the community has to say with this. And we'll go from there. It's going to be. This is going to be the thing that is going to piss some people off. It's going to make some people very happy. You're not going to have 100% consensus on this. Some people are gonna like be unbelievably absurd with that. People don't understand the reason by their votes or stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be a wild ride for this vote. There's going to be a lot of talk in the forums about this, a lot of opinions coming out. And so, but the community is definitely going to have a say in this because at the end of the day, this league is for them and it's for the majority of them. So we will definitely give them a heavy vote on this. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions about this, so I'm very interested to see the comments in the forums about this and anything like that. I know that some guys have had some good ideas on what to do about this. Trainers had some, and I just don't think we're quite there yet with some of those ideas, but we'll definitely work on something on the improvements. And the fact that we even have to consider taking them out, just even thinking about this just tells you how powerful their team actually is. So it's definitely going to be a community issue, not just a staff issue. So everybody will have a say. So make sure when it's your time, you go in there and place your vote.
Well, I know from
get your opinion out there.
From speaking, Mags and I talk nightly. Well, we're always playing Smite or 2K or something. And this came up as a discussion, and we were back and forth, and it wouldn't be that hard to do from a site side to do Trainer's idea of, I don't know if his numbers are right. That's something we need to look over in math. But Trainer, you get first pick, you get a lot less salary. I like that, and I would recommend that over a ban. That's just me personally, and that's the way I'm going to vote. I think something needs to be done to make it more even with the first pick. I mean, you look at the playoffs, other than the Timberwolves, which had a solid squad. You have the first, second, third, fourth team that were picked all right there, first and second playing in the finals. You're missing out. I think the third, is our fourth. Third or fourth was the Clippers, which I didn't understand that pick that early. But anyway, I mean, you've got some really top teams right there that I think would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have to equal that out somehow. Now with this roster, he would have done it anyway. I mean, with 4 million, $4.5 million. But if owners actually do their job, they have nothing to bitch about. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, Crow, or what your thoughts on what we should do moving forward. But I'm interested to hear them.
I just don't understand how people want to ban the Warriors. There's one season where the Warriors won the championship, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Like I said, my team has contended, made to the finals with a bad team, and then we got the best team on the game. What did people think was going to happen? I got all my guys with the best team on the game. But, like Fab said, on the forums, like the Warriors have been picked in every single money league season and multiple money leagues, and they haven't won one time. With money on the line, they haven't won. They're not an insta-win team.
Yeah, but that's a bring your own.
But we lost to the quitters.
And then if you're gonna ban the Warriors, how do you not ban the Cavs? Like, the Cavs are so much better than every East team. It's like if you pick the Cavs, unless you're really, really fucking bad, you are going to make the finals out of the East. Like the next best team is what, the Raptors, and then what's after that? Like it's a huge drop. At least the Warriors have to go through the Blazers, the Spurs, the Clippers, the Rockets, like a lot of good 2K teams. The Cavs are just far and above like every East team. So I just don't understand. Like the Warriors have won one season in the EBA, and everyone's screaming, ban them. Like that's crazy. In 2K13, when the Heat had Bosch, Wade, and LeBron, and they were all roided up and absolutely insane, we never banned them, and they never won. I just don't get how, because a good, consistent team that's been around for years, not a year, years, got the best team in the game, won the championship, is a surprise to anybody. Or, like, I just don't understand it. And I also think it's unfair that, one group of people got to experience playing with that team, and for the rest of the entire game, nobody else does. That's not fair, especially if you want to keep track of stats. Why does one person get to play with Kevin Durant and the rest of the people in the league the entire rest of the year don't get to experience that or get those stats? And that's not fair to anybody.
But it will be fair, because it's going to be a vote. I mean, if the majority of the league feels that it's going to be a ban, then you got to get the people what they want.
I agree with you, but I also see the side of Crow. I absolutely 100% agree with what you're saying. It needs to be the community vote, and I agree.
No,
and the community, to be fair to Crow, the community was in an uprise at the beginning of the season about it, and then they let it die out because they seen Cleveland got them, and nobody really cared. They were like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's not even going to be a problem. And then when you got them, the uproar started again. So it really shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be based on who has them or who doesn't. I agree with what you're saying, Crow. However, I also agree with what Texas is saying, that the community, this site was built for them, and if the majority of the community feel that they don't want to play with or against, because they have the same before we even do the draft. It isn't like we're doing the draft and then saying no. Then that's probably the way we should move. I think something needs to be done to even things out a little bit, only because there's such a gap, like you said, especially in the East. There's such a gap, and so you've got to clear that gap up some way, and whether it be salary cap where you clear the gap up, and then that really makes an owner go, hey, I'll take pick 4 instead of pick 1 and still put together a better team and compete and still make the playoffs without a problem. And give this guy team 1, which I know is going to do shit with it, so he's going to take Golden State, and I don't even have to worry about Golden State. I'm just going to run the West or run the East or whatever. That definitely, I think, puts a little bit of thought and more fantasy style, simulation style into it a bit more, which I really like that style. That's what we're trying to build. So to me, I like Trainer's better idea over doing nothing, but I also, I would be okay with whatever comes up. I'm gonna play no matter what. So
it's just like,
go ahead.
If we ban the Warriors and you don't ban the Cavs, you have to do random conferences, because then the Cavs are guaranteed going to get picked first, and that team is just as like the Warriors. They're going to go to the finals in the East. There's no competition. Like the next best team is the Raptors, and then after that, it's a huge drop off. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to ban the Warriors, you either have to ban the Cavs or do random assign the conferences. That's the only way that it'll work. I just don't get, after one season of a good team, a consistently good team winning a championship with a team, we are screaming to ban them. Like after one season.
Well, I think the fear
now, if the Warriors won again next season with a different group of guys and they ran through everybody, then it's like, okay, hang on a second.
I don't think it's about
we might need to do something.
Or it's not about you, and it's not about your guys, and it's not about you winning the ship. This was talk. People came to me about this before the season had even started. But before the picks were even given out, before the owners were even selected.
And then it all died out when Cleveland got him, and it was like everyone.
No,
was like,
it did not. Whatever. It died out from y'all's end.
From the community side, community side. But
that's
even,
what I'm saying.
And you even heard realists, even with Cleveland have it. You heard some guys still fighting that battle of I don't think they should be in the season.
It didn't die just because the community wasn't on the forums talking about it. I got messages. I'll probably get a message 10 minutes from now just because we're talking about it.
There's so many things. Like we've had, dude, I don't know how many seasons there's been in the VBA, EBA. We've never banned a team ever, right? It's never happened.
Never. In any league we've ever been in, we've never done that. Even the VFL,
never banned a team.
We've done where we didn't pick.
That's
exactly. Look, remember that. Okay, you talking about that. Now the fact that we're even talking about doing it just shows how good this fucking team is, man. It shows how good this team is.
I
know
mean, they're so
I
good,
wanted
but
to
they
battle.
can't win. They can't win money though. They're so good, but they
But
just can't.
well, you can't compare
win
the money league because that's a little different. Money league is I bring my 5 or 6 or 7 against your 5 or 6
so
or
people
7.
are bringing that. You're saying people are bringing their best 5 with the Warriors and can't win.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's not their best
And
5.
not just can't win. We're talking
come
they're
on, man.
getting
You can't-
swept.
Yeah, but a lot of
You
times
can't compare those two, bruh.
Yeah.
You can't compare those two just because the fact that you can bring guys here and not even and get better talent.
I'm just saying, dude. After
than
one
just your
season,
friends.
Yeah,
to try to ban a team
Yeah.
is pretty rough.
I know if I put a
if you
team
were gonna
together,
ban them, you should have banned them before this season. I think the fact you let people play with them this season, then it wouldn't have been. We wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. Guaranteed, if I would have never took over the Warriors and Cleveland would have finished the season out, this wouldn't be a discussion.
You can't.
It would not
It was
be.
already a
Guaranteed.
discussion before
Yeah,
you were
it
even an
was
owner.
not.
It was already a discussion.
It would, and you weren't taking it serious. You weren't. And
Well, I
people might have
was.
brought it
How
up,
do you
but
know what I was doing? I
we
was
didn't have a
taking
vote
it
for
serious.
it. We didn't even have a
No,
vote
we
for
didn't.
it.
No, we didn't.
Exactly.
Because
So we weren't taking it
I
serious.
I felt this was a sim league and it needed to stay that way.
Exactly.
Keeping everything
Exactly.
there. Yeah, I did. But my people have swayed. People have swayed me, man. I feel like it should be definitely a community decision because there's so many opinions on this.
I'll be honest, we
And
were
that's
both
the
on
way
the
it's
fence
gonna
of it
be.
at the beginning when Mags and I were discussing it. We were both on the fence, and we don't make decisions, but you know we do express our opinions as how we think it should lead because we are. And Mags and I were both very on the fence with they should be, but they also shouldn't be. Well, there's arguments both sides. And it probably should have been a community vote, but it wasn't. And that that was.
There's so many opinions on this, man.
Yeah. You got dude, like 2K. 2K is an
decision.
ever-changing game too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an ever-changing game. They could come out with a patch and break shooting, and then what? The Warriors are probably not the best team in the game anymore, or they definitely fall in line with a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
Or KD,
Okay,
I don't want no one to get hurt.
And then we can revote.
Curry could get hurt. KD could get hurt. I just don't understand. Why take them away after one season? Like I said, if they won 2 seasons in a row in a dominating fashion and it was different, like people that were on the team, then you need to look at it. But one season, I don't know, dude. I just think
that's going to be a community decision,
crazy.
man. It's not up to me. I'm not going to leave it up to me. I'm not going to leave it up to staff. That's too small of a group to make a decision for the whole league like that.
And like I said, I'm unbiased, but I don't care. Like I've heard he won my ring. I don't care how I won my ring. I won it with my guys. I don't care. I'm just saying I've played in this league for years, and I just think one good 2K team, the best 2K team, winning one championship doesn't warrant a ban. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that'll be for the community to decide.
Do you have anything else you want to cover? I know we said we are going to be a quick show, and we end up talking 20 minutes about whether or not we ban a team. Do you want to have anything else on the commissioner corners before I move on? Is there anything else you want to discuss? Some ideas, some movements, anything like that going on?
Shit, man. I had some stuff, but now it's like
he got you frustrated.
I mean,
Crow frustrated the commission.
not frustrated. Not frustrated. Just started talking about this for so long, I completely forgot about what the hell.
And it's a hot topic this season.
Up,
I mean, it's been a hot topic all season.
But yeah, it's not
guest.
frustration. It's something that people need to hear. People need to hear every side of the decision. That way they can put an unbiased vote out there and a fully informed vote. And that really needs to be. Everybody needs to get out there. Everybody needs to place their vote, man, because this is a big deal. I mean, and I don't want nobody to take this lightly because, like Karo said, it's never been done before. So it's something that really needs to be considered. We'll look into the whole, the higher pick, the less salary, whatever.
Well, that could definitely be done from the back end because when we enter the teams in, we tell the system what salary to get.
It seems it's definitely cool. It just seems that it's like, you got teams like winning the ship 500K, like money's never been an issue for championship teams.
No, but that goes back to the owners not doing what they're supposed to be doing. A lot of owners don't, and I mean, Crow could probably back me up on this because he deals with all the owners. I know Mizert backed me up in the last show, but owners just don't do what they're supposed to do as owners. They go, I'm going after my buddy, and if my buddy doesn't go to me, he's going to go to a team, and I know they're going to trade him to me because, I don't have to pay a lot of money to get the guy I want to get. And it's
just tough, man. I mean,
yeah.
There's a lot of people that go for less than they should, but bidding on a guy that don't want to play for you, that is going to bitch, that is going to ruin team chemistry or something. It's just tough, man. Even though he might be a better player if all things, go well, but more than likely they're not going to go well. He's not going to want to play for you. He's going to demand a trade. He's going to be almost a cancer to your team. It turns people away, or he'll quit or whatever, So it's kind of it's tough for owners to want to bid up people that could essentially ruin their team. I mean, it's just. It's tough.
Well, I'm kind of siding on the offensive. I'd hate to see it go from, no, we're not banning them, to all of a sudden they're banned. I'd like some steps in the middle, maybe. I mean, it's just from the outside. And then if those steps toward that direction doesn't change and people are still blowing out other people with them, then maybe it is But I also don't want to waste the next 12 weeks or 18 weeks trying to figure out if that's a real thing or not. I also want to enjoy 2K, and I can tell you from experience this year, especially when we had to face, even when it was Cleveland's team, it wasn't fun when we played. It just wasn't fun at all. I regretted every minute of it because you make 2 or 3 mistakes and they're back in the game. I don't care how bad you're beating them, and it was just so frustrating that 2K was bailing him out left and right. And I'm not saying that's the case for you. I know that you made a good case that your team was always competitive and always has been competitive. You kind of won me to that side a bit, but in reality, I can tell you this: I would rather play with anybody on the Golden State than I would with anybody on Toronto any day of the week, because it's just going to make me better. Bottom line, it's going to make me better. They're just a better player. And for anybody to say that, no, that's not. Of course, it helped. You have to say it helped to have the best team. And like you said, you've lost to teams that are not as good roster-wise as you in previous 2Ks, but the 2K team was better.
Exactly.
So you have to.
But we didn't scream ban that team. Hell no, we didn't. We didn't. Oh shit, man.
Well, no, they beat you. It's
everybody.
No. You don't understand.
Exactly.
It's the Illuminati doesn't like Crow. Actually, we're really upset you won. So, anything else from the commissioner's corner? At least introduce some of the new staff members for next year. Maybe throw out some staff names.
As of right now, I still got to get with Woody. I know Woody's talking about coming to be on my staff, and if that's still the case as of right now, he's definitely gonna to be a part of my staff for next season. Defeat you. A lot of the owners already know. He came to staff. He helped me with the scheduling in the playoffs when I had to play my games and stuff. So I really appreciated that. And I got a couple other guys that are on the fence kind of still that we could talk about. So, but if Woody still wants to be staff, he's definitely going to come on and help me out, and I appreciate him stepping up. Defeat BC was talking about being interested, so I got a few guys that a few guys that are well known around the league from history's past that is going to step up and help us make the league better, and I really appreciate all those guys for be willing to put in that time for this league. So as of right now, that's about the only guys that I've really talked to like hardcore and sat down, and they've been interested. But
and I want to put this out there.
That's on that note. That's it.
In any game that I've ever been a part of building or any, the forums are not as active as they should be in anywhere. The community is only as active as a community. In most cases, you're lucky to have 5% of the entire community actually be active on the forums. So when we do put up a community vote, we really need to tell our friends to, hey, go vote no on that, or hey, go vote yes on that, based on what, go vote whatever situation that they feel strongly about. Log on real quick, vote on that, because we need a good turnout. I would hate that 20 people decide for 150 how our next season goes, because that's usually the case. And most any other league I've ever played in, that such a small percentage are actually active on the forums, and then you've got 25 votes on something that 160 people is going to affect, and I hate that. It just irritates the hell out of me. So tell people to go vote. Anything that's coming up, there's going to be some big things coming up. I know that Commissioner has been talking about some different things with his staff, so they're going to be put out to votes. Maybe some announcements made throughout here in the next couple, next week or so. A little bit of a break. Happy holidays coming up. But let's move on to the next. I want to talk a bit about the All-Stars, because the All-Stars were announced this week, and that is news. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I do want to go through and recognize these guys. I'm going to start with the Season 5 West All-Stars. You got Mike Mann first, MC Sticks, and Irving. Your boy Irving won a third. I think he now has 2 or 3 All-Star awards. So keep feeding him that breast milk, Crow, because obviously it's getting him his All-Stars. Shooting guard CW25. That's a nice name to see up there at first. I know he was bum hunting this year because he wouldn't play you guys. I know that because every time I was like, "Oh, you're up," and I can't make it. I can't make it. But at least he's up there. I mean, shooting guard. I got to give him respect. Go ahead. Do you have something to say?
I also heard that he was from some guys on his own team that he would quit. You know, if his stats started to slip, if his averages started to fall a little bit, he would quit. So that way his averages wouldn't drop anymore in the game. So that's something to think about. You know,
well, I thought I thought you enter in the stats that they were part of the game. Is that not the case? If it's a certain time length or something?
Yeah, it should be. If they make it past the first quarter,
I was
sure
say,
you're supposed to put it in the
counts as a game
but
played.
I mean,
after
on
the
an
first
average
quarter.
note, on an average, like, you know, if he was starting to shoot bad or whatever, like they would say that he would just quit, so that way his average would not fall from where it was at. You know what I mean? I mean, is it true or not? I don't know, but you know that's. I mean, I got guys from his own team telling me that shit. So
I was on his team, and I could tell you if he says, "Oh, I'm available all week," and then magically when we had to play the Warriors first that Sunday, he was magically not available, and I had to step into play and get slapped. So I was not real happy about that. My first game was against the Warriors with JJ Redick, so I didn't even I got thrown to the Wolves right away. So shooting guard first, CW24, Luminetic Titan, and Bama shooting guard, third spot there. That's nice.
Bama.
Another guy from you there. That's always nice. Small forward, Sorsey. Wasn't
cancer.
Wasn't he? Yeah, wasn't he having a lot of problems? But he did win.
Yeah, he's
All-Star.
cancer.
Pure Hustle was the second All-Star, and small forward, I get a third All-Star. I think it's a participation award. Good job, Ice. You showed up more than other people. We're going to give you an All-Star. So, hey, I at least showed up and played my position. So I get a participation award. That's my second participation award, and I'm happy to flaunt that in my trophy case. Power forward, Return of the King. Congratulations, ex-commissioner Budweiser Beast. He got a second one there.
Yeah, Bud man.
So you've got a third. Who is your small forward? You were the small. No, who's the small forward? Okay, you're missing out on you because you bounced so much. But your numbers were great. I remember.
I mean, he definitely. I mean, he could have easily been in the MVP run. His numbers were hella nice, but just the. I mean,
be doing what I do, man. Playing whatever my team needs.
I mean, respect, man, because that's what it takes. Respect. That's respect for sure. That's what it takes to be a winner, man. That's what makes you a great owner.
I tell you,
so definitely respect on that note.
We're not really pushing Hall of Fame right at the moment, but we were having a discussion the other night about Hall of Fame and how we want to move forward with the Hall of Fame, because the Hall of Fame is an award only given out by site staff. That's the only thing that we have control over, and we, of course, we get the staff that is their opinions and so forth. We didn't want to have it this season because technically last season wasn't a real season, and we also don't know if we're going to have it the following season or the season after. We don't want it to be a here's candy award like it became in the VFL, where everybody got a piece. Yeah. We want it to mean something if you make the Hall of Fame. And we were talking the other day, I said, man, the best owners out there, name them. You know, if you're going to give a Hall of Fame owner position, who would it be? And your name came up, Crow. So I mean, definitely stick with it and stick with the owner. I mean, that's your next goal is another couple of those trophies to prove it wasn't a fluke and maybe a Hall of Fame badge. But
it's definitely something that should be taken very seriously.
It is, and
maybe only handed out once every few seasons. And I mean, just because and we've only had 5 seasons, you know, so it's kind of hard to hand out Hall of Fame just based on the ETP. But I mean, I know we've had League Arena stuff, but that shouldn't factor into.
It won't. It will not. Like I said, it's definitely voted by site staff, and I mean, I'm a pretty big Nazi when it comes to that thing because I hated the fact that I felt I earned mine as a number 1 defensive tackle in the VFL. I earned mine, and we had other people that were there for 3 or 4 years that were okay or had good seasons in one Madden, and they were getting Hall of Fames. And I'm like, dude, he had one good. He was good at this Madden. He wasn't good at 3 or 4 Maddens in a row. You know, but whatever. Moving on. Center, it's the boss. First overall. Isn't that your guy as well? He got a first
All-Star. Yeah, Bowman.
And he beat out our own Texas James Smith. Congratulations, Texas James Smith.
He deserved it, man. He balled, man. Boss played.
His defensive numbers was nice.
He should have been up there for Defensive Player of the Year. I hope so.
He was.
I mean, he should have been
in the running.
Yeah.
He was in the running.
He balled, man.
But congratulations to Texas James Smith, not to overlook you at the second All-Star.
Thank you.
And the third All-Star, our own outtaker. He was blocking like mad at the beginning of the year with, I think, the same guy. Wasn't he on?
I think he was using Damian Jones.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
And
he
then
was
he
on.
got to play with DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
but given that, it's still he was up there, and he's always been a solid center, and I think he deserves it. I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see him get an All-Star. I do like the rules this year where you have to show up and play. You just can't have a few good games and say, "Oh, look at me, I did it." But let's go to the opposite side and go to Season 5 East All-Stars, which all of us was in the West. I was in the East for a little while. But point guard, my very own, I consider my point guard, Shumpert Life. He balled out at point guard. He moved early in the season to point guard, which I'm glad he did. And he had a really good games with him. The real Uncle Drew is up there, who you were saying didn't show up in the playoffs, but he did show up during the seasons with the second All-Star and second
Very
star.
true,
All-Star.
same as Mike, man.
And Majestic, third All-Star there as point guard. Shooting guard, we had Swizzerk, which they were telling me the kid was good, and I kept mad. I tell you, the first few games, from experience myself, I was like, you guys are saying this kid's good. He's not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, he's like, this is my team, which I've been waiting for him to do. And he took over, man. He just absolutely took over come week 2 or week 3. And he was pretty hard to deal with. He was dropping points, and it helped that Shumpert was feeding him in the right spots. And it looked really well with those two playing well together. I would be scary to have those two on the same team next year with a better team. The Truth, JGW, our own The Truth, Kamish got a second star. I don't know if that's a participation award or not. And then the Mantis, which I don't know Truth's numbers and I don't know the Mantis numbers. I didn't vote because I didn't have the time to look through the numbers, and I refused to just pick names based on the names. Small forward, the Realist, 260. Rara Da Boom. Now this kid to me had to be like the breakout star at 500K this year. Over with Minnesota throughout the season anyway. Rod Boom, I think, stepped up. Corrupted kind of got the raw end of the stick. He probably would have been a first All-Star if he was still in the West. He came over to the East and kind of got caught up with these other two powerhouses here. But he had a great season, I think.
He was another guy that didn't. He was another guy that didn't really have a whole lot of games played at a position. So
yeah. Well, and that's hard to do. I think games played in the system. It tells you what you've played the most games as. It should anyway, and if it's not, then it's broke. But it should say,
it does. It did.
6 games at power forward or whatever it is. And I don't know if you should really punish it. This is just my personal opinion. I don't know if you should punish a guy because his team needed him to move to shooting guard for 2 games this week because his shooting guard couldn't make it.
No, I mean it's not a punishment. It's not a punishment, but I mean you can't give a shooting guard all-star at small forward.
No, but
you know I mean?
I did.
Like
my main position is small forward. They move around in the EBA. Or in the real NBA, excuse me, they move guys. I mean, LeBron's paid power forward. He's moved around as he needs to in order to help his team going up against different lines.
But he consistent. He plays the majority of his games at the 3.
Yeah,
and I mean that's all we were looking for.
Yeah, and that's I could see, and it should be a majority. I agree, but that's like I said, I don't know if you should punish a guy because he still showed up and played his games. I understand the guys that showed up and played 6 games or 7 games didn't. But anyway.
It's not a punishment. I mean, the fact that they're even up there for the All-Stars, I mean, it's not punishing them. It's just it's just one of those things that they're there and they're getting their opportunity. It's not a punishment. It's not like we're suspending them or something. It's just it's something.
Yeah, but they don't get a chance
that
that opportunity that they were probably the better small forward and they didn't get the award. So for instance, in the West,
well, I mean, you got 20 games. I mean, there's 20 games. I think we did 11 or 12 at a position.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad.
I mean. You can miss 8. You can go play 8 other games, and I mean, if you're not showing up for your games, then that's on the persons.
I agree with that.
I mean, that's 8 games you can switch. You know what I mean? So
some teams that's
a good majority. I mean, that's good.
I played power forward.
That's just over 50%.
I played power forward, played small forward, played shooting guard when I went to the East. I played where they needed me. My 1 up, 1 down was wherever they needed me. I showed up and did my job. But anyway, power forward. First is Woody, which I think deserves that. Woody is power forward. I think he did a really good job this year.
100%. 100%.
Another guy that didn't show up in the playoffs.
They had a great season. Again, didn't show up to play. It's Rush. And how is Garbage Assassin up there? You got dropped off by Garbage? Garbage. You got dropped off by Garbage and third All-Star up there. Him and mine they're both participation awards. Center. G Money, which I think he deserves that at center. E Money 3K. I agree with all 3 of these All-Stars, and I wish all of them got a first All-Star. But you got G Money, E Money, 3K, and Too Cool. I think each of them are all very strong centers and deserve each one of those. Any comments on all of the All-Stars that I kind of went over there? Any comments?
Too Cool. He he played every one of his games at his position. But I mean, I think he played like exactly 12 actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 12 or like maybe 13, but he played every one of his position. And that kid's defensive numbers, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but his defensive numbers are nice.
But didn't you have Cat? It was Cat, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got two cats up there,
blocks,
and the
rebounds.
Draymond or Drummond. So I mean, you got two cats and a Drummond. I'm not saying that's it. I'm not saying that because those three guys to me are the powerful or the centers of the year. No matter or the top three centers in the league. I don't think if you put them on West or East, to me, luckily they're all on the East. Unlucky for me because I had to play them a lot, but I'm just saying that it was, if we're talking about, if we can look at somebody like Irvin and go, oh, because he had this guy, we have to say, hey, look at this guy. He had Cat, which helped him out as well. But Too Cool, to me, played really well this year. And I think he really shook the, again, another guy that Miz picked up that I think was a sleeper. Mike Mann 117, congratulations for point guard of the year. That's the only thing I know was posted by Z actually was the point guard of the year. Congratulations to Mike Mann. So, any thoughts on that?
I'm not gonna say nothing on this, bro. I'm gonna let this one go. Don't
sure?
even ask me.
You sure?
Don't even ask me, dude.
What do you think about it, Crow? You think
that's
he
my
deserves
dog,
point guard of the
bro?
year?
Come on,
Mike Mann, point guard of the year. I mean,
he definitely
did absolutely.
But I'm not.
He did
gonna
absolutely
say
nothing
shit.
in the playoffs, so I don't know.
I don't give a shit. I
think
fuck you and the Golden State Warriors. I
think realistically, it probably should have went to one of the guys on the T-Wolves, to be honest. But Mike Mann was on Lillard, shot off screens when illegal screens were allowed, and he put up some numbers.
Okay, so we should punish him because he got Damian. Should we punish y'all because y'all got Golden State?
I think it should factor in when you're voting for an award that someone had Damian versus Chris Dunn.
No.
I think that's kind of a
a
big difference.
That is why I was asked to vote by Truth, and I said I can't because I'm biased. And what I mean by I'm biased,
he wasn't like what. When I see point guard of the year, I think like, man, this guy was the best point guard this season, and he wasn't. He showed that in the playoffs, but.
Well, that's the season. It's not the playoffs. You can't hold him. That's why he didn't win.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, to me,
yeah.
I consider it, all the season. You know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of wish the awards would have came out before the playoffs, like they usually do. But unfortunately, they didn't. So
you can't hold him to the playoffs, and I know that they pushed through, and to give a little bit of back end on this one, almost everybody quit or got busy or wasn't able to show up on staff. So all of the awards. Were at least started to wouldn't have moved forward without Texas stepping up and making that happen. So it's hard for one guy to run a complete league, but that's why he's looking for new staff members to help him out next year. Now, Crow, to add this nice trophy here, I do want to say, I know you put a nice little post in here, but I do want to say you named the MVP of the playoffs or of the of your team. Finals MVP was Unibrow beatdown. You just think he just absolutely deserves it. He went off. I mean, you kind of think.
Yeah, I mean, we won the games we were supposed to. I mean, we knew we were going to beat Abyss's line. Like, we knew that. Now, we weren't sure how our other line was going to fare. They went undefeated after we dropped the cancer that is Sorcy. So we figured they'd do okay. They could take one, and that's all they needed to do. But man, Sorcy came up huge. So we were watching the game because it was streamed, and Unibrow came up huge. Bud lagged out, man. I was like, man, they're gonna be in some trouble. Like 4v5, that's their best line. It was our second line. We weren't sure, and then Unibrow kind of took Realist's soul, man. Like in one of the most pivotal games that he could possibly do it. I mean, he scored 40 on Realist. And then after that game, I know they were demoralized and they were already defeated. Like the sweep was already done after they lost that third game. So I think I just had to give it to him. He ended the series, I mean, by doing what he did in that third game, I mean, it ended the series.
If don't mean to throw any shade at anybody, but maybe if Realist and them will play a little bit more talented teams in the regular season, they might be ready for Golden State in the championship.
Oh, it looked like they weren't ready because you should
just
go watch
saying.
That stream.
I want to shout out to Realist and Drew, man, and let y'all know that iron sharpens iron. All right, iron sharpens iron. So you just remember that, man. Y'all need to get out there and play some better talent in the regular season, and
Whoa, hold on. That was like a double shot there. I thought you were giving him props, and then all of a sudden I catch it. I'm a little slow, I guess, tonight. My brain's not working as fast as it usually is. You just threw some shade saying they were bum hunting all year,
But
and then when they had to go up
now,
against
now what
talent.
I could say is I do got a little inside information. The bum hunting was coming from Uncle Drew. I can confirm that. So
He says I can confirm it,
Okay.
like he just got the
I can
report.
Confirm it.
Hold on, I got.
I
you
can
got an
confirm the bum
inside
hunting was
source.
coming.
Hold on,
I do
I
have
got-
an
I
inside
got-
source
I got-
on
I
the
got-
roster.
I got to ruffle some
On
papers
the
here.
roster.
This just in.
On the roster. He is a diva. He is a diva. So
It's just
don't
in.
blame Realist for it. Don't blame Realist for it, man. Don't take it out on Realist. He's probably already having
I
enough
like
tough
Realist,
time
man.
getting
I
over
never
that
knew
game.
Realist and
But
shit, but I
the
like
bum
the
hunting
dude.
was on
He's a
Uncle
chill
Drew.
dude.
So
Well, bottom line, I want to
that
thank
sucks.
the Cleveland Cavaliers for winning the East. I think they deserved it. I didn't have you guys doing it. You proved me wrong. That team, solid team, Abyss. Big ups for stepping up, taking up that team at the beginning of the season. I know it wasn't, you got to do the bidding, so it wasn't like you stepped into a broken team and fixed it, but you still, you had the number 2 team with a lot of expectations, and I think you delivered to the point of winning the East and into the playoffs or into the finals.
Hey,
And on the opposite side,
shout out to
you
me.
know, go ahead.
Shout out to me for putting the 2 best owners in the championship as replacement owners. Come on.
Yeah,
What's good?
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Hey,
shout
get
out
no
to
credit.
the Cavs for being the only EBA team in history to get swept in the finals.
Oh,
Damn.
God,
Kick them while they down. That's fucked up.
that hurts, dude. That's don't.
Kick them while they down. Crow, it is never a dull
It's
moment.
just
my
in.
friend. It is
Crow
never
got
a dull
his Christmas present on early this year as he unwrapped a trophy and a ring because he got gifted the Warriors. Now I just heard that. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but it's all because you had the Warriors. You know haters are going to say that, right? So you got to come back and prove them wrong next year.
Of course, man. Like I said, they like to forget, man. I make it to the finals with the Kings, with the Rockets, and the Cavs, and always contending. I mean, people like to forget. It's all good. I'll be here next season.
Moving on before we end it, I do have a hashtag reach out. Reach out. If every single player, if one person on our entire that's signed up goes out and gets somebody else to sign up to this league, it will only help. It'll make it more competitive. It'll help us continue to grow. I'm not saying this from a revenue side. I'm saying this as a player experience side. I want to meet new cool guys. I want to, not in a no homo.
Hey, revenue don't hurt either, though. That probably makes the site better.
I think we're so far away. It's just a $100 bill out of my pocket every month to run the site, and I'm okay with that. I don't have any problem with that. I enjoy this site. I enjoy doing shows like this. I enjoy putting a community together for guys to do certain things. I did update the Pro Shop, just so you're aware. I put a lot of PC games in there.
Hey,
I need to get. They're working on getting.
You guys
new
were
names.
on point with that, and then it kind of.
Well, that's because only a handful of people cared, and we were giving. I mean, we gave away over like $1,500 worth of shit, and people didn't really give 2 shits except like 10 people. And I'm like, whoa, we're giving the same awards to the same 10 people. This is not what we were expecting. We were expecting to use it as a growth tool for people to go, oh, you can get cool stuff here. Come and check this out.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what was so unique about the site and could draw people in. And then when it was dying out, it's kind of like
it kind of died out there, but it also died out based on. I mean, we're still focusing. The playoff system is being tested, almost done. I swear to you. If not, I am flying to India and whooping some Indian ass. It will be done and completed and ready for next season. So we will have playoff stats and playoff games and into the season. So
that sounded like some racist ass shit.
I'm just saying.
That did
I am going to whoop.
Sounded horrible.
I was thinking. I was like, wait a second.
No, that's not racist. That's actually who's doing it. Is I have one of my development teams is out in India and they're doing the outsourcing for the website, and it's taken them forever to get anything done. I mean, just anything. We're not writing the code ourselves. We're having to test it ourselves and then send back the request and then test it and send back the request. But from my understanding, he's right on the edge of it. I seen it in work the other day. He'll probably release it on the next breakdown or whatever garbage show Mags puts together. It's garbage because it's not mine. And you'll see a breakdown of it. So anyway, hashtag reach out. If every single one of you go out and grab somebody, we'll have 250 plus people next season. So let's try to get back up to the numbers we were. I want to see us grow. I want to see us continue to be competitive, and how to do that is you put more talent on the floor. Anything anybody wants to say before I close the evening? Shout out to first. Again, congratulations to you, Crow. Any shout out, anything you want to say?
Well, first I was gonna say, James, I wish you guys would get someone on staff whose job it is to go recruit people, man. Like someone who like their sole job is to
It's supposed to be E-Money.
The league. Oh shit, he don't do shit.
As
But
I was about to say, as far as I know, that I haven't been told that's. I mean, if I'm supposed to feel somebody like that, I'm sure that we can do something like that. But
I just think it would be a great idea. Someone who goes on forums
have
or
my,
whatever and all this stuff and just like pushes, like let everyone know about.
100%, man. I agree, man. But like, I'm just focusing on getting a staff that'll actually stay in the whole season.
Yeah,
and then maybe after that season, we can push for that. We can push for that extra spot. But I mean, right now, I think that Truth and some other guys are supposed to be doing that. I'm not sure.
It's Truth's main focus is to help. That's his biggest focus is to make sure the league runs smooth, which it will hopefully will run a lot smoother this coming up season, and it did run smoother than the previous season. I do agree with that, but is also to recruit. And also, we originally hired Cleveland, who said, I got these great ideas and I can get a bunch of people. And I was like, okay, cool, come on, man. And then he's like, let it fall to the side for whatever reason, as of his own, whether life got in the way, whatever. And then E-Money came to us and said, I could do it. And I've seen a couple posts on Twitch that we gave him our Twitch account information. And but I haven't seen a whole lot from him either, getting people involved and getting people signed up. I have been, and I'm putting it on the screen now, I'm going to a lot of these clubs, these NBA clubs, and posting.
Yeah.
Yes. The problem is the last couple of days I was not even aware of it. We had some issue with sign up, so until someone said, "Hey man, I'm trying to sign up," and something happened, I didn't even know we were having problems with sign ups because I don't go in and test the sign ups. I have an account, I log in. So, I put on there EBA team up fantasy style sim leagues where you sign up at a position and get picked up by a team. Season 6 signups are open. Sign up now. So I'm posting that every single club that I can get into that will let me in, and hopefully we can reach out and get some guys moving forward. So to answer that question, yes, we are working on it. I'm working on it more than probably anybody else, and it's like I said, it's not even about the money thing. It's about making the league bigger and making.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it would be awesome to get up to 16 teams and 3 lines again, and oh man, it's just such an awesome experience. I would love to see the league grow.
Any other shout outs? Anything else?
Say this though.
Go ahead.
Coming into this season, I got a lot of heat about the 2-line thing, and a lot of people, especially the one person on the show that I'm not gonna name any names, that's not Crow, was saying that one line can win you the ship.
Yep.
Well, as the Cleveland Cavs showed, that is not always the case.
You can't jump back and forth across this fence you built here.
Hey,
you say they won because no. You say they won. No, you see what I was getting at, Crow? You say they won because they were the team, and then now you're saying they lost because they were better than the other team. So you got to stay on one side of this fence or the other. You can't keep jumping on me.
Hold on. Let me explain. I'm sticking with what I said, but I'm saying that if what you said was factual, regardless of who they had, that the Cavs would have won because they had one great line and it was so amazing, and they should have stacked it. And
if they didn't run head to head with the Golden State, I guarantee if anybody else was there, Cleveland Cavaliers would be walking away as the winners. I guarantee it. If it was Portland there,
man. If you score 50 points, with the Cavs, I don't know who you're beating.
I'm just saying that it's not always the case.
But they scored 50 points against Golden State. I mean, that's what he's saying.
Golden State doesn't play better defense
and against your guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it's So you got to stay on one side of the fence either. You can't keep jumping fences on me.
So you're saying like if the Blazers made it and it wasn't like my team,
yes,
the Cavs would win.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying if they went up against anybody else. Anybody else in the West, they would have won it. It just happened to be the Golden State. I'm almost positive of it because I think they had a very strong one line.
But I don't think that would have been off one line though.
And let's be honest,
been off one line.
If Mike would have showed up and he could have got his guys together and they would have not had the issues, and I know it was personal issues, and I hate to hear that. because this is just a game and life does happen.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it was even better for him because he got to play with MC Sticks as his McCollum, and that dude dropped like 20.
Well, so that's what
more
I'm saying.
than their
So
McCollums dropped all season.
if they could have kept that line together, shit, if Misty could have kept his lines together, his team started falling apart in the playoffs. Maybe it was a week too long. I don't know what the situation was, but he was having problems getting his team guys to show up and get on. So I missed not Misty, sorry,
GA boy.
The owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was on just last week. Miz. I call him Misty by accident, but Miz Art. Yeah. If he could have got his boys to show up, I think they would have been competing. It's just the problem is if your team falls apart, they fall apart. It doesn't matter if it's playoffs, regular season, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
I think 4 weeks is better. I think 5 is a little too long. I think 4 weeks.
I agree.
One line can still win it, and that's just basic math, is what I'm telling you. You put the perfect line together, whether you think it's anybody,
can win it.
All they got to do is win 4 games and it's over. If they're unbeatable,
it's a lot easier said than done. It's a lot easier said than done.
I agree. It's a lot easier said than done, but it has happened.
All things, even like having 3 lines is great, right? But at the same time, I know
we can all agree
owner,
on that.
I've been an owner, dude, for how many seasons, and dude, running 3 lines is, dude, I'd rather have it 2 lines every season, just because. Like, you got to babysit like 14 grown men, and that's just annoying, dude. It's not fun. I'm telling you. It's just, and it turns people off of ownership. They're like, man, I got to manage 14 people. I got to get 14 people to show up to their games. 2 lines is just so much easier. It's so much more convenient as an owner. And it does, hurt that 1 line can win it. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, why can't the other team put a line together that good, too? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They can stack a line.
This is what I've been saying since day one, man. If one line can hit the playoffs and go undefeated in every game they play, why do they not deserve the championship? Why don't they deserve it?
Because
if they can win
in a
game,
perfect world, you're right. But this is why,
win.
and I'm going to be devil's advocate here because I'm going to argue my point. In a perfect world, you're right, but unfortunately, we play in the EBA. An EBA where if I don't play with my buddy, I cry or I quit. And now they made it so much easier. And I say they only because it's been Mags and other people gone to Mags and so forth. So I'm not blaming Mags for this, but he's a key component of it. Now they can quit, pay $10, come back next year, and it doesn't even affect. Even though they could have fucked their team, they could have walked out and now pay $10 and get on the same team. If you could get JT and his group to stay together and play on a team, they're over winning money leagues. They're blowing people out in money leagues of Fab's guys. If Fab can get all of his guys,
Fab's guys.
If Fab can get all of his guys to sign up, and nobody's going to grab them because no owner's going to go out and get these guys because they don't want to touch. They don't want to deal with the drama. They don't want to deal just like you said earlier. So in a perfect world, you're right. If one team can build it, then anybody could build it, and they could all show up or whatever bullshit that you just said. But in reality is that you get all the Fab 5 guys on, nobody's going to bid on Fab and his 5 guys. They might bid them up a little bit to make it harder to move guys and trade or make the team fall apart if a guy gets pissed off and quit. But nobody's going to pick up a hot shot anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that means like I like the competition though, man. Like I want to beat them. Like I like being the, you know what I'm saying? I understand.
Like it's a best of both
good
worlds.
Competition.
Yep. But I mean,
I'm just a firm believer that the best deserve to win. Like the best talent deserves to win.
Yeah, if they are the best,
if one line,
if they are the best,
can't
it's
lose
our fault for not being good enough.
In the playoffs,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they deserve a championship.
Yeah, but it's not about the best. It's not bring your best 5. That's where the mentality is different. It's not bring your 5 friends, and that's a different league. This league is you build a team. It's more based on the owner. That's why I have so much more respect for guys. And me and Crow don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I mean, hell, I think we've said not enough in a party together or whatever, and we've had our own issues outside. But the problem, I respect the hell out of Crow because when he says I'm going to own a team, he owns the shit out of it. Even though he does some shady, walks the line a lot. He knows where the line is and he walks down it a lot. And I've said that many times. And but also those guys earn your respect. Abyss, when he says I'm going to own a team, he owns a team. And he owns it to where he's going to be competitive. He might get beat in the finals. He might get beat in going into the but he's going to be a competitive. That team's going to survive. Whether he has anybody on the team he has to pick up and work with, that team's going to survive and do well. And that's really what it's about. It's not about you get the best 5 and I get my best 5 and we go head to head and I'm the better team, so I'm going to win. That's not what this league's about. It's a fantasy style, picked up draft style.
It wasn't. It stopped happening for a while, but now, like you said, with with the ability to pay $10, it's gonna happen, man. It's just how it is now. Now there's no real consequence outside of pay $10. I mean, that's the consequence. Like, I mean,
Well, the first time,
but
and then the
the
second
fact
time it's
is
pay
that-
20, and then the third time it's pay 30, and then the fourth time it's you're not welcome back. You can go play somewhere else. So I mean,
I just always thought what
Yeah.
I believed was it needed to be like justified by like the staff could rule on it. Like if this dude just outright quit because he didn't get to play with certain people, just blacklist him for the entire 2K.
Oh, it is.
Like,
It's
that's
it is
Just leave
completely
it be.
up to site staff. That's not a if
And-
someone's
and
caught
I feel
cheating.
like they've never
They can't-
never like did that. Like say this guy doesn't play because he didn't go to the team he wanted to. Like just blacklist him for the rest of 2K. We don't want those people in our league, but instead we allow them to come back.
Well, because
and
they
then
always
do the
have
same thing, and we act surprised.
excuses and so forth, and everybody says, "Oh, it was because of this," or "Oh, it wasn't because of that. It's because of this," and you can't prove them one way or the other. You can only go off of what.
I mean,
but
they
there
get
is people.
blacklisted. They get blacklisted for like half the 2K, which not even half. Like
Yeah,
the rest of
technically.
the season, depending on where they're blacklisted, like if it's early or late. But you get half the season and then the next season.
Well, not only that, they
or
hurt
the
their
remaining
team.
Season and then
I mean,
next season.
if these owners
And now
are
it might
team,
only be
it's 3
half
seasons.
a season because they could just buy their way
Right.
back in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But not everybody has that right to buy back in. Mags will release a list of who's allowed to and who isn't, and that's based on some key factors. I know one of the factors that he looks at is did he hurt the league? Because if you're hurting the league, so something that E-Money did, he's like he told everybody he was quitting ahead of time. He tried to go for the highest and then he quit. Season 4, and it really hurt the league. That started off on a bad note, and then it was just one after the other, after the other, after the other, and it just fell apart. He has the right to not allow you to buy back in. I don't know exactly the outlines of what Mags says and does. He's the COO, so I let him run whatever operations he has, even pull over me when it comes to the operations of the site. So whatever he decides to do, he does. But I agree with what both of you were saying, but we also want guys to join and play, and we want enough numbers. So it's kind of like, do we let some of these guys back in that want to be back in? I mean, King John came back and did well this season, and he was blacklisted last season. So sometimes you make a mistake.
I mean, there's a lot of people like they've been reliable. I'm
buyout.
saying that the people that have been perennial quitters that we just know, like Jay Snyder, that motherfucker should never touch the league again. People like that dude, he always quits. We know he quits, but we let him back. Hell, we give him ownership. Why? That dude should never touch the league.
He stayed in owner during
how
one of the worst seasons ever. He stayed through owner, and we thought,
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
got
say,
to
to
give
be
people
fair,
a chance
it's
to
just-
change. I think anyway. I
Right.
mean, you
He-
can't.
Dude,
he
how
went to
many
the
chances have we
championship in the
gave
worst
the
of
guy
the
though?
series.
Like,
Well,
I don't know.
you're
man.
talking about a different site. I can't hold somebody to a different site that was on
I
this
know.
one. But
I don't know. Man.
I still no. I was with you. I'm 100% with you. I was like, dude, we can't. And Mags is like, well, you can't hold him. We're not VBA, so you can't hold him what he did in the VBA over here. And I'm like, yeah, but he's a fucking douchebag. Like, we know he's a douchebag. He's always been a douchebag. He's bipolar. And Mags go, well, we got to give him the chance to fuck up. Well, he fucked up. So guess what? Now when he says I'm going to be owner, no, you're on a ownership blacklist for the entire site because we knew you were a douchebag.
Yes,
you came and
done.
proved you a douchebag. Now we know that you'll never be owner anywhere on the site again. Because you've proven
My
on
thing
this
was
site
like,
you're a
we had to
douchebag.
give him an opportunity because he stuck it out the last season, man. He did.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking terrible season. It was the worst season we've ever had. And I mean, he stuck it out when a lot of people didn't.
A lot of people ditched.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to give him like, okay, well, maybe this is that turning point for him. Maybe this is when he actually starts, living up to what he's supposed to be doing.
What really frustrates me, and I won't get on this tangent, but really frustrates me is he says you ought to be adults when he posted in the dude. Adult is saying I'm going to do something and sticking up for it, not being a little bitch and running when things get
fucking
rough.
do
So.
it. All right.
But anyway, I want to wrap up. We're way over time. We said an hour. It's already like 30 minutes, 24 minutes over. Anything
What'd
you
I
have
tell
to
you
say
before the
before?
show?
Yeah,
What'd I tell
I
you
know.
before the
We
show,
always
man?
get talking about
I
off the
told you.
tangent shit. I know.
I
That's
told you.
welcome to EBA tonight, where we
told
don't
you.
really stick to the script. So hats off to the Golden State Warriors and Crow. Appreciate you being a guest on the show. You're always welcome back. I look forward to you running a team next year and proving everybody wrong and taking a not Golden State to the finals and winning and sweeping and having another amazing season. I wish the best for you and whatever team you put together. Also, for all the owners returning, thank you for being returning owners. To my commish,
Yes, sir.
Texas James Smith, I appreciate you. You did an awesome job this year so far. This is the end of the season. I think we should probably take about a week off. You agree? Won't come back next Thursday, but pick
I
up
agree,
the Thursday
man.
after.
We'll be doing our off-season stuff. Finding owners and stuff. I mean, starting like ASAP, probably sometime next week. But as of games and shit, we're probably gonna push that till after Christmas. Hopefully, get a couple extra signups from people getting 2K and all this stuff from their Christmas gifts, and so hopefully that'll help the league out. Ownership interviews and inputs, and we're gonna go over every owner we had and make sure that we still have the right guys coming into this next season. So yeah, I mean that's what we're looking to do these next few weeks. So if anybody's interested in being an owner, we'll be posting a ownership application in the forums here shortly. I might just do it tonight just cause. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what we're doing. I'm gonna hit up Woody and then we get the staff right. Anybody feels interested in being staff and have good public relations, that's really key for us, and is going to be available to do so. We want everybody to be. We want all the community to be comfortable coming to any staff member. So as long as you have good public relations with the community and then willing to put in the work, I would love to have you on my team as staff goes. And so yeah, that's what we're looking for in the near future. Hit me up if you're interested in staff. Hit up the forums if you're interested in owner. I think that's a sign up. Make sure you sign up. Go sign up now. Like if you're watching this right now and your ass has not signed up and you looking to play next season, click the tab to the left because I know you have it pulled up. Click that damn sign up button and get in there, man. Because this sign up late shit gotta stop. You just postponing the season. Let's get in there and get that shit taken care of right now so you ain't gotta remember to do it couple weeks from now.
And you heard Crow. Go get your boys and challenge him this season. He doesn't care. Bring your best five. He's
right.
good with that.
Bring your best five. And apparently, from what Ice is saying, that all these guys will let you get your guys for $500K.
It looks like it.
It shouldn't be an issue.
Should not be.
Go get your peeps.
Go get Golden State and see if you can run the table. So from all of us at EliteTeamPlay.com, and that includes Mags, Outtaker, Blaze, everybody that's part of EliteTeamPlay.com. And everybody from EBA tonight, me and Texas James Smith want to wish your family a Merry Christmas. We're going to take off on the 22nd. We'll be back on the 29th for a quick show, I imagine, there before the New Year's, only to have the last show of the year. We'll have a lot to talk about. We'll have of the year awards.
And hopefully around there we'll have the draft order announced.
Hopefully we'll have the draft order announced. Hopefully we can move rather quickly.
Also, the Warriors, whether they're getting banned or not by then as well. That'd be good.
I mean, we have a lot of good owners returning, so we only got a few open spots. So make sure if you're interested in doing it, man, as soon as the owner application pops up on the forums, you get in there because, like I'm telling you, there's only we had a lot of good owners this year. I mean, besides a few that did shit, we had a lot of good owners this year, and they're wanting to come back and make this league great again. So. Thanks to Crow and those guys in Abyss and all those guys that filled in where it needed to be. And so if you definitely want to be an owner, make sure you put that owner application in fast because, I mean, as soon as we get somebody we feel is going to do a great job, we're going to put them in there ASAP. I mean, so if first interview goes amazing, then
he's in.
I'm telling you, man. Yep, that's it. Get your application in there, man. First come, first serve.
You know if Shump's coming back?
Don't hesitate. He is coming back.
Sweet. That's a good owner.
He was.
That's a good owner. I hope he does as well. He's another guy I'm waiting to break out as owner, and he was kind of quiet under the shadow for the first couple seasons, and didn't really do. He played with somebody else.
He jumped in my party and he just opened his mouth and started talking, and it blew me away because it was nothing that I was expecting.
No. He's a good guy.
I was expecting somebody completely different to come in my party, and he just started talking. He sounded different than I thought. He was acting different than I thought. Like, dude was just completely different than what I was expecting when he jumped in the party. But he's a good dude. Gonna be a great owner. Gonna do good things for this league. Guys like the rest, and Crow and Abyss and Mizark and all these other guys that are looking to push forward. So we only got like 3 or 4 spots. I think 3, but maybe 4 spots open. For ownership next year. I mean, obviously we're gonna reevaluate all owners, but I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty sure it's like 3.
And if we get a boost sign up after Christmas, I mean, maybe we can add a team or two, a couple in there, and then we can make it more aggressive here.
It ain't locked until it's locked.
Yeah, so
if our numbers get right, then
So we're taking off the 22nd. We'll be back on the 29th. Merry Christmas from us to you, and enjoy your Christmas break. And we hope you enjoy your Christmas with your family. Thanks, guys.
And God bless you all, man. God bless you all. Hope you have a good day.
So is that the platform you're going to run on this year? Is make EBA great again, Texas?
I mean, why not? It worked for somebody else. I know. Might as well stick to it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, we'll fix it. That's right. Make EBA great again. You promised to build a wall from and separate all the Golden State Warriors from the rest of us.
Hey, one community member at a time, brick by brick, vote by vote. All right, vote by vote. Vote by vote.
That's great. That is absolutely great.
It's gonna be wild, man.
Well, it's nice, Crow. I appreciate you coming on. I know you've been a community member forever, so hopefully this is a staple in our EBA series. So plan on doing it as long as I can get Texas Steve Smith to show up or a co-host to show up. I would like to keep doing the show as well. So.
Hey, I'm here, man. I'm here. So when you start show, just shoot me a message, man. You already know. If you need me to do free work, anything like that, I'll be around.
It looks like someone's trying to bring back the VBA or something. I read earlier today on a chat, and I was like, "Are you joking?" Yeah, I looked at it and it was like, we put so much work into this site. Hopefully, we won't lose any players over there.
No way that relaunches, bro. No fucking way. As trash as that shit ended, no fucking way that relaunches.
And I tell you, it's all about the staff that you have, though. I mean, when we were head-to-head with League Gaming when we first launched the VFL, we just had all the right guys with us. You know, even guys like Crow, Briss, you know, those Cuban, those guys that stuck around in the VFL is what made us, you know, the number one for football over in League Arena, because nobody could compete with us on that level.
I was there.
And the same thing with the EBA. I mean,
that's like I wasn't there.
No, I know you were there too. Yeah, you and Rogue and all of the wonderful guys.
Yeah.
But even if you go over to the League Gaming now and try to play, you can't compete at this level. And I thought it was funny. Fab posted something. I don't know if you read it, Crow, but he posted something in the thing saying that I think he was joking with Mizark, saying, "Oh, these EBA guys can't compete," or something like that. And it was probably the two biggest EBA guys that have been around forever from season one in the finals. I thought it was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
Bad trolling. I think he trolled you a little bit too in that post that I just read earlier today. Something about push left, right, and shoot or something like that. How hard is that, or something smart aleck? That's it. Yeah, he posted it 20 hours ago. He said, B plus push left stick right and then left and then hold X equals championship. Smart X. All right. Great, guys. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
No problem, man.
So, man, it was nice having you on the show.